Hello guys, you have Joseph before you.
Welcome to our tutorial. This is the first program, and I'm sorry, the first one I did it in French to help some other brothers, but I feel comfortable to do it in English as I have many people can follow it in English, and still if you want it to be in French, you can still ask any question in the tutorial, so I can at least help you in that way. So I can help you in French or English, but now I just feel comfortable to continue in English. So any question, even if it's in French, just write it in the comment part down so that I can answer your questions. So now we have the second program which is about finding factorial of a number that has been given. So as you can see here, this is something I was just testing it. I want to show you the result before we go deeper in the explanation of the program. So this is a code which is already done, and I want to show you first of all the result before we go further with the different steps to be taken. So when I come here and refresh the page, you will see that there is something, a box coming with a message. This is what we call the prompt window. You see, you can even see a windows.prompt. I will explain you what it is about. So this is the prompt window, which gives you an opportunity, which gives you first a message and gives you an opportunity to write anything, and that thing can be used after. For example, here, all of us, we know that the factorial of 5 is 120. So if I write 5 here and I press OK, you'll see that factorial of 5 equal 120. So this is the thing that we are supposed to do. I will explain you how we came to find the factorial of 5. So let's go further. I will explain you. So first of all, let's go here. I will delete the whole code and save. If you want to save, you press Ctrl S, or you can click File and Save. Ctrl S, I've saved. If I refresh, nothing more is happening. So now let's come back to write the code. First of all, I will write HTML with the full structure of HTML, and the title here, the title is the name that we have saved with this project. So now I write here, for example, Factorial, and save it. When I press here F5 to refresh, we have Factorial there, and we are going to use our JavaScript. So JavaScript, as we want our code to react at the loading of our page, then we are going to write all our script in the head of the program. So when I open here I'm supposed to open a tag called script. Script is the tag helping us to really realize any script, to write any script. So now in the script, I'm going first of all to make appear that prompt window, which will help us to take the number n. So that prompt window, we call it like window.prompt, and we open the bracket and write any message. For example, enter a number to find it factorial. Okay, so when I say it, I've saved, Ctrl S, I've saved, and here F5 to refresh, and I have this enter a number to find its factorial. So, and this window which came because of windows.prompt, and if I write any number inside, nothing is happening after. So we are supposed to take the value of that prompt which is coming. So to take that value, we take the whole code and we enter it in a variable. So how do you declare a variable in JavaScript? You write var, you write the variable name, which is n, for example, equal, and I put all this in brackets, equal all this in bracket. So it means that any value that you will enter in the prompt will now come in the variable n. Okay, so but you cannot yet see it here. So because we have said we just wrote variable n equal this thing window prompt, then blah blah blah, and I'm supposed to close also the bracket here. When I save it, if I come here, I will see my window coming, and if I write anything and press OK, automatically there is this value which is going in the variable n. And to show you how it went there, I can even for example call another window which is alert. I will call window dot alert, okay, and ask them to I will ask this function to show me the value of n. I think it will give. So when I press here, right, for example 12, and I press OK, there is this window which is coming and writing 12 to show me that exactly my variable has gone into n. So let me delete this one and see how it's going to happen. So to make the variable to make the factorial of any number, it means that, for example, as we have used 5, if n equal 5, okay, so what will happen if I want to work with this variable and make it factorial? The factorial of n will just be n into all the numbers, into 5 itself, and all the numbers coming down till 1, but not using 0. It means that if I want to find the factorial of 5, it will be then 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 and into 1. And if you realize, it will give you 120. It means that 5 into 4, this is 20, 20 into 3, this 60, 60 into 2, 120 into 1, you have this 120. So how are we going to find this? So we are going to create a new variable, result. So this result, how will this result find the factorial of our n number? So before using this this function here, I want to create a function. Okay, I will create a function using this function. For example, my function can be called fact, and I open it, and my function will work with will work on n as the main variable. Okay, so this is the argument that we are going to use. And when I open my function, what will happen? I will tell him, first of all, if I will put a condition, because people can write 0 there. So if 0 is there, the factorial of 0 is always 1. So we'll say if n itself equals 0, what will happen? If n itself is equal to 0, we just ask them to return, we ask it to return only 1, okay, because it the factorial of 0 is 1. So out of 0, for any other number, that's why I call else, for any other number, what will happen? The factorial will just be equal to in fact, the factorial that we are going to find here will be very fine, and we'll just ask him to return what? We'll have the value n into fact of n minus 1. Yes, this is how the thing will happen. So what will happen now? For example, we have the variable 5. It will be 5 into fact of n minus 1. So at that moment, this fact, as it is the number of the function there, it will call back this function, and the n becomes 4. When the n becomes 4, this n of 5 is still there. It will be now 5 into, we have 4 fact of 3. You understand how it will happen? We have 5 into fact of 4. When it comes back to 4 here, it becomes 5, which was there, into 4, into fact of 3. When it becomes 3, it comes back and check and say fact of 5 into 4 into 3 into fact of 2, until it will reach 1. And when it reaches 0, it will come to realize that exactly it finished. So you will see that finally we will have 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. You understand what is happening now? So when we reach 1, we stop there, because the 0 will return also 1. It will become as if it was into 1 now. So this is the... Now we are going to use the window.alert to show the message that it is used to show the message. So window.alert, what are we going to write inside? I can write, for example, factorial of n is, and I'm supposed it is what is result, right? So now exactly, factorial of n is result, which is the variable. So now, how will this alert know that this is a variable? It means that you need to close the quotes here, okay, so that what is remaining becomes a variable. And to make a concatenation, you need to write plus, which will help us to make concatenation with n. And when we come to is, we need to open it again a quote to make it as a string. And when we reach this place, we close again this as a string, so that the remaining is a variable, and we write plus for the concatenation. And finally we put the semicolon at the end, so that we finally have our alert, which is giving the result. So I don't know why this purple thing is coming. Let's first of all try. I have saved Ctrl S and come here, F5. Nothing is done. Is there any problem here? Oh, I am supposed to put another plus here. Plus. Okay, I think the problem is solved now. Yes. So for small errors like this, maybe you can have a problem. So when I write here 5 and press OK, I have here factorial of 5 is 120. You understand? I had this small problem, that is the plus, and here the parse int. Thank you so much for following again this tutorial. We are coming back with the second one, with another program which will be again interesting. So just click like on this video, share it with other friends, and don't forget to subscribe, and see you for the next tutorial. Have a nice evening. That was Joseph NG.